Hi, my name is Jeff Cawley. Welcome to this edition of The Hot Seat, along with our new special guest today, Mr. Dave Finley. Dave is the Transportation Director at North County, and we're excited to have Dave on here. He is being sponsored in part by Dr. Brandon Gregory, who's paying your sponsorship for The Hot Seat. And we had to twist some arms to get Dave to come on. He was a little reluctant, but I'm sure he's going to do a great job. But remember to like and subscribe if you like this episode or any of the others. We're going to get you started off with an easy one. Who were some of your favorite teachers when you were a student at North County?
Probably Bart Mitchell was one of them. Yeah. And his wife, Helen.
Helen. Now, when you had her, was she Helen Mitchell or was she Helen Crenshaw?
She was Helen Mitchell.
Helen Mitchell. I had her the year before they got married. She was Helen Crenshaw, and Bart duped her into marrying him, and she became Bart Mitchell's wife.
Yeah.
Great teachers, great people, both of them. Good answers there. Is there a talent that you have, Dave, that maybe some of it our viewing audience don't know about? Is there something that you do, play guitar, or anything that you do that maybe our audience doesn't know about, or a hobby that you have?
I like shooting guns.
You're a gun guy?
Yes, sir.
How many guns would you estimate that you have?
50.
50 guns. Wow, I've got some, but I don't have 50. That's pretty impressive. What kind of vehicle, car, truck did you drive when you were a high school student?
1969 Plymouth Valiant.
Plymouth Valiant. What color was it?
It was green. Everybody called it the dinosaur.
The dinosaur.
Steering wheel was green. Interior was green. It was just green.
Just all green.
Yeah.
Now your family, when we were in school, your family had the bargain barn out on Hillsborough Road. Did you spend a lot of time working there as a kid?
Every day.
Every day.
Every day and every weekend.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. This is what I call the Chad Mills special. Okay. If you were invited to a potluck, what type of dish would you bring? Is there anything that you can make, or are you like me? I can't cook anything.
I can cook quite a bit. Chicken and dumplings.
Chicken and dumplings.
Yeah.
Okay.
Homemade soft pretzels.
Really?
Yep. Pretty fair with that.
I'm pretty impressed with the soft pretzels. All right. Was there another name that your parents ever discussed that they had picked out for you other than Dave? Like, hey, if you'd have been a girl, we were going to name you this, or your dad wanted to name you this or that?
No, I think they did good. They picked the perfect one right off the get-go.
There
really wasn't much to talk about.
They went with Dave, and they said, this guy looks like a Dave, and let's
they
go
said,
with that.
A lot of famous people are named Dave, so that's what we're going to call him.
Yeah. That's probably good that they stuck with that. 'Cause
Yeah.
I can't see you as anything but Dave. What was your favorite television show growing up?
Well, I can't say I watched a whole lot of TV. I don't think I really had one.
You had a television. I remember.
No,
you guys had a
we
television.
did have a television, but we didn't stay in the house very much.
Yeah.
It was most of the time out working in a barn or doing stuff like that.
Okay. I like this question. Who keeps the cleanest bus at North County? One driver. If you had to say one driver, they have the cleanest bus all the time, inside, outside.
Well, you're trying to hang me on
I
this
am.
one.
I'm trying. And big Jim Dunn for years. It was Jim Dunn. He always had a meticulous bus. If there's a couple that come to mind, you can mention a few.
I'm going to say probably Mike Claywell.
Mike Claywell.
Yeah, he's all the time polishing on that one.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean they're
Mike's semi-retired. When you're semi-retired, you've got time to polish and clean. You know.
Yeah.
Least favorite subject in school?
Math.
Oddly enough, you mentioned Bart Mitchell as one of your favorite teachers, but I'm the same way. Math would be my least favorite, but I loved Kenny McIntyre and Kern and Mitchell and those guys.
Well, math was definitely not my strong point, and I guess the reason why I like Bart Mitchell so much was because he helped me through that in basic math for 3 years in a row.
Here's a question for you. Is there anything that Bart Mitchell can't do? The guy drives a bus. He's a trivia king.
Yeah.
I haven't found anything that Bart can't do.
No. Tell you a funny story on him though. Back years ago, whenever he was driving a bus, what he would do is he would take his truck, and back whenever the bus was parked at the people's houses, the drivers' houses. Well, Bart would get up in the morning, and if I called him, he'd be like, sure, I'll go out there, So he would take his truck out to the driver's house, and then I would just go pick his truck up later. Well, the one thing I think that he didn't like doing was working on his brakes, because whenever I come up on the intersection of South Road and K Highway, I couldn't stop. And I asked him when I got back, I was like, Bart, do you realize your truck don't have brakes? He said, yeah, I forgot to tell you about that. So I'd say probably maintenance on his vehicle wasn't one of his stronger areas there.
What's one of your favorite movies of all time?
Star Wars, probably.
Star Wars guy. Okay, good answer. Name a few of your favorite places locally that you like to eat. If you like to go out for lunch or dinner, is there a couple places you like to visit?
Nowhere in particular.
You're not picky. If someone else is paying, you'll go.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I've kind of got that myself. If you had a friend visiting with you, staying with you from another country, what in Missouri, other than take the arch out of the equation, what in Missouri would you insist that they see? Is there some place, a park, or anything that you'd say, you know what, you got to see this?
Well, I could probably play that safe because if they were staying with me, I'd probably say, let's go to the Bonne Terre mines. That way I didn't have to drive anywhere.
Yeah, well, I used to take, when I worked at the high school, we'd take kids to Bonne Terre mines all the time. And they would tell us, it was one of the greatest trips they'd been on. You know, the mine's just a fascinating place, and it's right here in our own backyard, literally.
Yes,
So,
yes.
Okay. Oh, I love this question. Everybody gets asked this question. Who would play Dave Finley in a movie about you?
Oh my God. Kevin Costner.
Kevin Costner is
Yeah.
Dave Finley. Okay.
That's who I'd have to pick anyway.
That's it. If
I like
you had
him pretty good.
a boot heel term, if you had your druthers,
Yeah.
you'd pick Kevin Costner. Okay, good answer. Other than the bargain barn, did you have another part-time job when you were in school?
I did.
Because you're a working guy. I mean, I've known you your whole life. You worked all the time.
Yeah, I worked over at Boom's Meg's factory for a while.
Really, there in Bonne Terre.
Yeah, I was doing 40 hours a week while I was in high school. And then after I left there, I went over to Henry's Auto Repair, Henry's gas station in Terre de Lac.
Wow.
Whenever Henry Clickamp had that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we would.
The station's still there under new ownership, obviously, but yeah, I
Yeah,
know the
full
place.
service gas station. We just did a little bit of everything there.
Okay. Is there a group or band or singer that you really like to listen to?
George Jones.
You're a George Jones guy. What's your favorite Jones song?
Oh, they're all my favorite.
Yeah.
There's only two kinds of music, and that's country and western. So the rest of it's just a bunch of noise.
Just a bunch of noise to you. I'm a big country fan, so that's. If you could change anything, it's a tough question. If you could change anything about yourself, what would it be? Like for me, I wish I was better organized with things.
Yeah. I mean, there's a whole bunch of different things there that I'd probably do different. Probably try to spend more time with the family.
Okay, just spend more time. It's hard to do in your position.
It is.
Especially in winter months, because
Yeah.
and here's what happens, and you know this from being in transportation for so long, but I start getting calls about 4 o'clock the day that they're predicting bad weather.
Yeah.
From some of my, wait for the bell here. A lot of my friends at the high school send me, have you heard anything about school tomorrow? It's not even raining yet.
Right.
But
right.
that's, in your position, you're the guy that's out checking the roads and
It gets
checking
really,
on the conditions, and it's a lot of
really
hours.
early. Yeah, a lot of hours, really early.
Okay, spend more time at home. Good answer. If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Oh, X-ray vision.
X-ray vision.
There you go. That'd be easier to diagnose cars.
That's why I'm wearing. That's why I'm wearing 2 shirts interviewing you. X-ray vision, good one. You can't say pay off any debt with this answer, but if you won the lottery, if you played the lottery,
Yep.
what would be the first thing that you would buy for yourself?
Oh, probably 100 acres and set up a 1,000-yard range. Open
Yeah.
it up to the public.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. They're not making any more property. Always a good investment.
Right.
Always a good investment. Name a restaurant that you used to really like as a kid that's no longer around. There's something, maybe not even as a kid, but as a young adult that you know, like I like South Fork. I was a big South Fork
Yeah,
guy.
South Fork was a good one.
Can you think of anything else that
that was the one that was over at the intersection in Deloge?
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
Deloge.
that would have been the one I'd have picked.
Yeah, and then of course you got Plank Road Inn in Farmington. That was always a good place.
Yeah.
All right, last question for you, Dave, and you've done great. You were really nervous. One of the most nervous guests we've had. You've done a fantastic job. We might let you be a host on the show one day. A guest host, Mr. Lowry. We need to consider that. What program would you take if you were a sophomore, going to be a junior, coming to UniTec next year? Is there a program that you looking back, you're like, well, I wish I'd have taken that. Wish I knew a little bit more about that.
Well, as kids coming up and with everything that you have here, I would say probably either welding or auto mechanics.
Auto mechanics, both popular classes, both seem to fill up every year. We've got great instructors. John Jones down there in welding, and of course Billy Smith does the night welding, and then Shane Blair and Clay Dalton.
Yeah,
And some of those guys drive for you during the early
Yes.
morning hours and after school, hardworking guys.
Yeah.
Dave, you've done a great job. You are off the hot seat, sir.
Awesome.
If you like the episodes of the hot seat, be sure and like and subscribe. And we've got a lot of exciting hot seats coming up in the near future. Have a great day.